On the very day he was born, a baby god named Hermes dared to trick the divine. He stole Apollo's sacred cattle and left no sign of his trail. How could a newborn pull off a heist that baffled the gods themselves? Let's dive into the clever schemes of Hermes, the god who could slip between worlds with ease, whether he was high in the heavens or down on earth. But before we start, if you enjoy this video at any time, please drop a like and comment below. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you won't miss any of our explorations into ancient lore. Now, let's journey together into Hermes' legendary adventures. Our story begins in a hidden cave on the slopes of Mount Selene. Here, Maia, the gentle daughter of the Titan Atlas and the shyest of the Pleiades, gives birth to a child destined for greatness. Zeus, the king of the gods, is the father of this newborn. She hides her newborn son from Hera, Zeus's jealous wife. Little did she know that this baby, barely a day old, would soon set the cosmos buzzing with his mischievous deeds. Even as a baby, Hermes was no ordinary child. On his very first day, curiosity and mischief stirred inside him. He slipped out of his swaddling clothes while his mother slept and ventured into the world beyond the cave. As the sun rose, he discovered a meadow where a herd of 50 sacred cattle grazed. These cattle belonged to his half-brother Apollo, the shining god of the sun and music. With a gleam in his eye, Hermes decided to take them. But how could a newborn outsmart a god as sharp as Apollo? Cleverly, he led the cattle away, making them walk backward to confuse anyone who might follow their tracks. He made sandals from woven bark and branches to hide his own footprints, leaving a trail that puzzled even the best trackers. On his way back home, Hermes spotted an old man named Battus working in his vineyard. Worried that someone might report him, Hermes walked up to him and said, "Good sir, if anyone asks about this herd, tell them you haven't seen anything today." He offered Battus a cow in return for keeping quiet. Battus agreed and promised to keep the secret. But Hermes wanted to test if Battus would stay true to his word. Later on, he returned in disguise. Offering a reward, he asked Battus if he had seen any cattle pass by. Tempted by greed, Battus told the truth. Hermes felt betrayed and exclaimed, "You broke your promise." To teach him a lesson about trust and the consequences of deceit, Hermes turned Battus into stone. This showed that even though Hermes was a trickster, he still valued loyalty and honesty. As he continued his journey, Hermes came across a tortoise crawling along the path. He saw more than just a simple creature and thought, an empty shell can become a musical instrument. He gently picked up the tortoise and hollowed out its shell. Using strings made from the guts of 2 of Apollo's cattle, which he had sacrificed as an offering to the gods, he created the first lyre. When he strummed the strings, the music was so beautiful that even the trees seemed to dance. Meanwhile, Apollo noticed that his prized cattle were missing. Even with his prophetic powers, Apollo found the trail perplexing. Bit by bit, he pieced together the strange tracks, following them all the way to Maia's cave. There, he found Hermes wrapped in blankets and looking innocent. "Give back what you stole," Apollo demanded, his voice firm but curious. Hermes gave a mischievous smile and replied, "But how could I, a newborn baby, do such a thing?" Apollo was not convinced, so he took Hermes before Zeus to settle the matter. Zeus, the king of the gods, listened carefully. He looked back and forth between his sons. He knew about Hermes's tricks, but also saw how clever he was to pull them off. Hermes sensed a chance and began to play the lyre. The music filled the halls of Olympus, and everyone who heard it was captivated. The melodies were so beautiful that even Zeus felt his heart lift. Apollo, who loved music, was amazed. "That instrument," he said softly, "its sound is beyond compare." Seeing Apollo's admiration, Hermes offered the lyre to him. "Take it," he said, "a gift to mend our quarrel." Apollo's anger faded. "This gift is priceless," he admitted. To show his gratitude, he gave Hermes the caduceus, a staff with 2 snakes wrapped around it, a symbol of peace and being a messenger. Zeus recognized Hermes's ingenuity and speed. Hermes had managed to steal the cattle and create the lyre all in one day. Zeus saw that Hermes had potential beyond mischief. "Hermes," he said, "your swiftness and cunning make you the perfect messenger for the gods. From now on, you will carry our words across the realms." Hermes accepted his new role. He put on the winged sandals, called the talaria, which carried him swiftly over land and sea. His petasos, a wide-brimmed traveler's hat, protected him from the weather and showed that he was the protector of travelers. This appointment confirmed his place among the 12 Olympian gods, the main deities who lived on Mount Olympus, each overseeing important aspects of the world and human life. Not long after, Hermes was given a tricky mission that would test his cleverness and loyalty. Zeus had fallen in love with a mortal woman named Io. To hide her from Hera's jealousy, he turned Io into a beautiful white cow. But Hera, who was always suspicious, asked for the cow as a gift, and Zeus couldn't say no. She assigned Argos Panoptes, a giant with 100 eyes who never fully slept, to guard Io. This way, she could keep an eye on Io all the time. Zeus asked Hermes for help. "Free Io from Argos's watch," he said. Hermes accepted the job and came up with a plan. Disguised as a humble shepherd, he approached Argos. "Hello, friend," Hermes said warmly. "May I join you in this peaceful field?" Argos, always on guard, nodded. Hermes began to play soft tunes on his pipes and told fascinating stories, tales of gods, mortals, and faraway places. His words flowed like a gentle stream. They were soothing and mesmerizing. One by one, Argos's eyes started to close. The music and stories made him sleepy, and eventually all 100 eyes fell shut. Seeing his chance, Hermes drew his sword and quickly ended Argos's life. This made sure Argos wouldn't wake up to chase Io. Hermes then led Io to safety, completing Zeus's request. This episode showed Hermes' resourcefulness and compassion. He used intelligence and artistry instead of force. This reflected his preference for clever solutions over brute strength. His success in freeing Io strengthened his reputation as a problem solver and loyal messenger. He was willing to take on tough missions for the greater good. Beyond being a messenger and mediator, Hermes became the patron of trade and commerce. He represented the exchange of goods and ideas. His cleverness made him a symbol for merchants who relied on skill and negotiation. In busy markets, traders whispered prayers to Hermes for good deals and safe journeys. His own actions, like trading the lyre to make peace with Apollo and helping free Io, showed his talent for negotiation and fair exchange. Hermes' cleverness also showed when he helped heroes on their quests. When Perseus set out to slay Medusa, a fearsome Gorgon who could turn people to stone with her gaze, Hermes and Athena teamed up to help him. Hermes gave Perseus the winged sandals for flight and a sharp sword called a harp. "With these," Hermes said, "you will move swiftly and strike decisively." Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare, offered a shiny bronze shield. She advised, "Use this shield as a mirror to look at Medusa indirectly. By avoiding her gaze, you can approach safely." By using the shield's reflection, Perseus could see Medusa without being turned to stone. Their teamwork showed how the combined virtues of wisdom and cunning could help people overcome great challenges. Hermes and Athena, both children of Zeus, often worked together. They combined intelligence with strategy. Their partnership was based on mutual respect, highlighting the strengths that come from unity. One of Hermes's most important roles was that of a psychopomp, a guide of souls to the underworld. Unlike other gods, he could move freely between the worlds of the living and the dead. When people passed away, it was Hermes who gently led their souls to Hades, making sure they found their way safely. This duty required great compassion and neutrality. It showed the trust both gods and mortals placed in him. His role as a bridge between worlds underscored his importance in maintaining the balance of the cosmos. During the Trojan War, Hermes's diplomacy was important. After Hector, the noble prince of Troy, was killed by Achilles, King Priam was overwhelmed with sadness. Priam was desperate to get his son's body back for a proper burial, which was a sacred duty in Greek culture. So he dared to enter the enemy's camp. Moved by the king's sorrow, Zeus told Hermes to escort Priam safely. Disguised as a young Greek soldier, Hermes approached Priam. "I will guide you unseen to Achilles' tent," he said. With Hermes' help, Priam reached Achilles and asked him for his son's body. The meeting led to a temporary truce, allowing Hector to have a dignified funeral. This act showed Hermes' role as a peacemaker and his deep respect for human traditions and feelings. Throughout his many adventures, Hermes took on roles that made him unique among the Olympian gods. As the swift messenger, he carried the words of the gods across realms. His winged sandals symbolized his speed and his ability to move freely between worlds. He first showed this talent when he cleverly stole Apollo's cattle and crafted the lyre. His quick wit and cleverness made him the god of trickery and thieves. He appreciated honesty and showed the consequences of deceit in stories like his encounter with Battus. Battus didn't keep his word, and Hermes gave him a harsh lesson about trust. As the protector of travelers and merchants, Hermes watched over those who journeyed far and traded goods. This reflected his own constant movement between places. His skill in negotiation and fair exchange is clear when he traded the lyre for Apollo's forgiveness. He also guided heroes like Perseus and helped mortals like King Priam. By doing so, he showed compassion and a commitment to justice and honor. Most uniquely, Hermes could move freely between the realms of the living and the dead. He guided souls to the underworld, which showed how versatile he was and how much both mortals and gods trusted him. His ability to connect different worlds showed how important he was in keeping the universe in balance. In addition to his divine duties, Hermes was respected as the patron of athletes and sports. His speed and agility made him an ideal symbol for those striving for excellence in physical pursuits. In ancient Greece, athletes would call upon Hermes for swiftness and skill, hoping to mirror his unmatched abilities. Statues of Hermes decorated gymnasiums and stadiums, inspiring competitors to achieve greatness. The Hermea festivals held in his honor featured athletic contests that celebrated not only physical strength, but also the spirit of fair competition and friendship. His symbols were the winged sandals, the caduceus, and the petarsos. They became emblems of travel, commerce, and swift movement. These icons have gone beyond their time, symbolizing the timeless qualities of cleverness, adaptability, and the relentless pursuit of progress. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Hermes, the messenger of the gods. We hope his tales of wit and adventure have brought a smile to your face and inspiration to your heart. Until we meet again, may the wings of Hermes carry you to wonderful places.